Okay, Kemet spirituality starts out with Nun. Nun is the ocean. Now, in alchemy, things that talk about water are talking about people. People, okay? The ocean is people in general. A lake is a specific group of people. As a matter of fact, when you talk about sacred texts and you talk about Matthews and Jesus is near a lake, he is talking about he is near a group of people. Rivers are the flow of people all doing a specific thing. Okay, so anytime Poseidon talks about is alchemy also, the Greek alchemy, Poseidon is talking about the ocean is people. Now, alchemy, Nun, is the time of the Tohu Vohu. It's a chaotic ocean, it's chaotic people who aren't specifically focused on anything. And then those people who aren't focused on anything are called the Tohu Vohu. They're not cultivating the Godship, so they are called the Tohu Vohu. Now, within that chaotic ocean, Nun, there is a pyramid, and on top of that pyramid is a lotus flower. That lotus flower represents the unfolding of the growth of the cultivated growth, the unfolding of enlightenment. And you notice that lotus are blue. Blue is the color of ideas. So you have a blue flower unfolding at the top of a pyramid. And pyramids are significant because they are triangles. A pyramid is 3 triangles. Triangles represent the body grid. The body grid is by 3. So alchemically, even on the pharaoh's skirts, when you see the pyramid, okay, that's not representation of a skirt or of a kilt. That is a representation of the body pyramid. So that pyramid, that body, and then that lotus unfolding is the enlightenment, because it's a strong light, okay? It's the cultivation of Godship. Godship is a mighty enlightenment. When you look at Genesis talks about the Atum and the Chav Ah. The Atum is all in everything. It is the being. It is the person. It is what the being to be enlightened. What is to be enlightened? The Chav Ah, Shah meaning life. Ah, what you would normally see as AH, Ah, is an enlightenment. So when you see words in alchemy and they have the Ah on them, that is the enlightenment. Judah. Okay? Enlightenment. An enlightenment is something that inspires, something that is motivated, what is being cultivated for. A Godship also. A Godship is a mighty enlightenment, something that is being cultivated for. But a Godship is something that is, same as the enlightenment, is something worshipped, made offerings to, and sacrificed for. Okay, a chosen Godship is someone who is worshipped, made offerings to, and sacrificed for. So there's an unfolding, there's a brilliant light, a strong light at the top of that pyramid, and which is the lotus flower, blossoming, unfurling, a strong enlightenment. Okay, it says a strong light because when it says light in sacred texts, it means strong enlightenment. Okay, so that enlightenment is the Godships. And I took notes, so that's what I'm reading from. The source of all of the enlightenment is Ra, okay? Ra is the sun. Of course, we worship the sun. I personally worship the stars and the planets. They are gorgeousness. Okay, in those days, we worship the sun. We worship the stars. And the stars are those who teach us. And remember, in order to actually learn something, in order to evolve, you have to be, and you have to learn from something who is smarter. If you're only learning from human beings, then you're not learning from those who have more wisdom. Learning from the stars, in alchemy, we always see the stars as higher knowledge. So anytime alchemically you see a star, for instance, the McGee followed the star to the birth of Jesus. That is saying that the magicians, they call them the wise men, followed the star, and it's the wise men, followed the enlightenment, the higher knowledge, to the birth of Jesus. Okay? And Jesus is significant because Jesus is not an evil being, but he is an example of some things not to do. But specifically, when you talk about Mary in that story, they follow the higher knowledge to Jesus because the people have to birth Jesus, the 12 disciplines, who were bitter and contrary. Mary is bitter and contrary. Okay? When they got the 12 disciplines, they got Joseph, which is the additions. But we all worshipped the sun. So of course, not Egyptian, but Kemet spirituality starts with the sun, because the sun is our source, is our environment, that gorgeous sun is our environment. It is our atmosphere. In other words, our teacher. Sun and the stars in the Orion's belt, they teach us. So we did absolutely worship the sun, and of course the sun is worthy to be worshipped. And it is through the satanic that told you that sun worshiping is evil, because Godship is something that we cultivate. They told you to worship Baal, which is a lord and master. And the thing is, fear of having a lord and master is the beginning of wisdom. So you should fear being a slave. You should not be slave in your religion. So Ra is the source of the enlightenment. All that the sun grows is good. All that Ra grows is good. It says in the text, which absolutely is. The sun birthed Tefnut and Shu. I know it's Shu and Tefnut, but I'm also reading my notes. Okay, so the sun birthed Shu and Tefnut. Shu and Tefnut are the wind and the rain. And it'll say air or wind, but it's both, the wind and the rain. Now, wind is, it's that burst of energy, that drive, that is a push, almost to say, like saying the wind beneath a person's wings. It's that push, it's that burst of energy when one is cultivating anything, actually. An example of that would be like Gilgamesh. When Gilgamesh meets with the Scorpion King, and the Scorpion King tells him how to transform. He tells Gilgamesh he has to walk through a desert. So when Gilgamesh walks through that desert, a desert is a time when there is very little growth, very little production. Okay, when he walks through the desert, and some of those leagues in the desert, there is wind. Okay, those are the times when there's a burst of energy, when he's doing much more than those other times. Rain is, okay, you have the water, and then that adds